Hi, it's Natalie Farrow with Desert View Fitness, and today we're going to be working on balance. So as we age, our balance starts to go a little bit, but if you keep working on it, do a little bit, maybe including it in your workout routine, that will help you so that you can maintain that ability a little bit. So even in your everyday lifestyle, maybe brushing teeth, you could brush your teeth on one foot, just little things that you can think of to work on your balance will really help. You'll be surprised how much it'll help. So we're going to start out. If you have a mat, great. You don't absolutely need one, but you probably want to have bare feet for this so that you really get a feel for when you're balancing. And then if you have a chair, just so that you can use it in case to kind of hold on to while we're doing this workout. So let's start kind of with a balance check. Just see where you are. We're going to do a few little balancing poses, you might say, and then we'll do that again at the end. And so kind of be real mindful of how you're feeling in each pose so that you can see if there's a difference at the end of the workout here. So let's start. You're going to have feet just about hips distance parallel. Nice posture, chest up, shoulders down, and then tightening the abs a little bit here. And then we're going to start to a crane pose. So shifting your weight onto one foot, you're kind of grounding that foot, rooting it down, and then lifting the other into a crane pose. Now this is where your chair, if you want to hold on to the chair, that's okay. If you feel like you're okay without it, then go ahead and challenge yourself there. So perfect your crane pose a little bit and then carefully move it into a warrior three. So your legs going behind you. If possible, you're getting your chest kind of parallel to the floor. And then from there, if you need to touch down, that's always okay. If not, then you're just going to go right into a figure four position, crossing your ankle to your thigh, and then sitting back, taking your weight back to that heel, and hold there for a breath or two, and then release. Come back to your kind of your mountain pose. We'll go there for to kind of check the posture and reset a little bit. Now, grounding the other foot, rooting it down, and then coming into, again, your crane pose with the other leg. Shoulders are down. Carefully, anytime you need to grab that chair, that's okay. Move it into your warrior three. Hold there, breath or two, perfect it a little bit, and then carefully back. Again, if you need to touch down, that's okay. Move into your figure four, and sit back and hold there a breath or two. Good. And then release. So like I said, just kind of thinking about how that felt, and if you needed the chair, maybe you won't at the end. We'll hope there's a little bit of improvement. So coming back to your mountain pose. So feet are about hips distance, parallel, kind of perfect that posture. And then from this position, just pretty simple, close one eye. See how that feels. And take a breath or two, close the other eye. Now try closing both eyes. Stay there for a couple breaths. And then go ahead and open. Now anytime you're balancing here and holding a position, if you find a spot where you can set your gaze, so something that you can stare at, like just a focal point, that will help the balance a little bit. So maybe doing that, see if you can lift your heels a little bit so your weight goes on to the ball of your feet. Maybe just slightly lifting. Maybe a little bit more. Hold it there, breathing. Okay, and then carefully back down. Take a breath or two. Let's just try that one more time. Maybe a little faster, going right into it. Lifting the heels up on the ball of your feet. And then back down. Okay, so from here, kind of set or reset a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and look to one side, back to the center, look to the other side, back to the center, hold looking to one side, and back to the center, look to the other side, and then back. And then maybe eyes closed now, closing your eyes. And back to the center. Look to the other side. Eyes are closed. Back to the center. Once more. To the side. Back to the center. To the other side. and back. Okay, eyes are opened again. Let's kind of start to lean forward a little bit and then lean back a little bit. So your weight goes onto the ball of your feet. You're leaning forward. Goes back to your heels, leaning back, but your spine, your body stays straight, so it helps if you pull those abs in. And then leaning forward, leaning back. Here we go again, look to one side, lean forward, lean back, to the front, lean forward, lean back, to the other side, forward, and back, and then to the front, but maybe, see how you feel, closing eyes, forward, and back. Okay, center a little bit again, eyes are open. Start to lean side to side. So your weight goes on one foot, goes onto the other foot, side to side. And just kind of keep rocking side to side, but then look to one side. Back to the center, and then look to the other side. You're still just rocking side to side. And then back to the center. Maybe close eyes. We'll stay forward, but just closing eyes side to side. And then back to the center, eyes are open. Relax shoulders, perfect your posture a little. And then we're gonna shift onto one foot. Again, rooting that foot. You're gonna lift the other leg. You might even flex that foot. Maybe you're holding it there, maybe that's enough for you. Maybe you're holding onto the chair. Maybe you feel comfortable looking to one side, back to the center, look to the other side, back to the center, throwing me off a little bit, side, center, other side, center, good. And then come back down, shift and root down onto the other foot, lifting, flexing your foot, shoulders down, chest up, maybe holding it here, maybe holding onto the chair, maybe looking side to side. Or maybe you're holding on and looking side to side. Back to the center and come back to your mountain pose. And center there a little bit. Now we'll just kind of continue on, root down on that first foot again, lift the other leg, maybe holding on, maybe you're just kind of holding those arms out to the side, just bringing your leg forward and back. I always like to emphasize that your back is still straight, nice posture, only your leg is moving. So you're not arching or bending, you're staying nice and straight, just moving that leg forward and back. And if you need to, touch down, and then touch down or hold on to the chair, because either way, you're still balancing. As long as you feel challenged. Okay, and then that same leg, cross it over the other leg, and a little bit to the side. So it kind of just shifts the center of gravity a little, side to side. Good, you find that spot where you can stare, you got that focal point that helps. Okay, and then bring it back down, center in your mountain pose, shift a little bit onto the other foot, root it down, bring that leg up. Good, and then you bring it forward and back. You can have that little bend in the knee, forward and back. Nice lengthened spine. Find that spot where you're setting your gaze. And then start to go side to side. Maybe a little slower. Do what feels right for you. Okay, bring it right back down. So a little more challenge this time. I'm just so that you have a better view, I'm gonna go from the side here. We're gonna be leaning forward a little bit, so I might even move that out of the way slightly. Okay, so from here, lifting one leg, start to, again, you wanna hinge from the hips. You don't wanna round, you don't wanna arch, that's not as good for your back. You wanna hinge from the hips and come forward. So maybe you're just gonna come a little bit forward, stopping right there. Maybe you're holding on to the chair. If that's still challenging for you, that's fine. Maybe you're gonna see if you can touch the mat or the floor, and then carefully back up. Okay, let's switch to the other leg. Kind of center a little bit, ready? Lift that, ground and lift, and then hinging at the hips so that you don't round or arch. Maybe just a little, maybe you're gonna touch, and then all the way back up. Good. And then center back into your mountain pose. And we're going to do a few yoga poses now that are a little bit more on the balancing side, but something that should challenge you slightly. So we're going to do a high lunge. Again, I'm just going to go from sideways, bringing one foot forward, one foot back. Now, if you need the chair, especially to kind of find the position, you can do that. You want to step back with one foot. You want to make sure your knee is over your ankle. You don't want it over the toes. And then the heel is up on the back foot. Now, if it's a real shallow high lunge, that's okay. If you want to challenge yourself more, that's where you're going to bring that foot back a little bit. And then maybe you're going to have hands at heart center. Maybe you're going to bring them all the way up. But shoulders are down, breathing. So this is strengthening too. We're feeling that, strengthening our legs, but also working our balance. Okay, let's go ahead and release and just switch to the other leg. So again, maybe you need the chair, maybe you don't. Step back to where it feels right for you. Make sure your knee is more over your ankle than your toes. And then arms up, or you could have arms at heart center. You could even keep your hands on your thigh, but so that you feel challenged. Stay there, breathe. If you can make it a little bit deeper, hold it. And release. Okay, let's go into a chair pose. So not specifically for balance, but it's a way of kind of checking balance. So we'll start feet maybe a little bit closer together, sitting back towards your heels. So you're sitting back. I'll start here again. You want to make sure your hips go down towards your heels. Your weight is on your heels, so where you could almost lift your toes, or you should be able to lift your toes. Arms up. You could have them at heart center. But either way, balancing here, breathing. Just holding it, focusing on your breath. And release. Okay, one more, pretty standard in a yoga class is a tree pose. Real good for a balance check though. So let's start in a mountain pose. Center a little bit, shoulders down, abs in, and we'll bring hands to heart center. And then you're going to, again, ground one foot, root it down, and toes down on the other foot with your heel against your ankle. Now, this might feel challenging enough. You can stay right here. If you feel like this is really easy, maybe your foot comes up to your calf muscle. Maybe comes up to your thigh. Not the knee, though. You don't want it on the joint, so either above or below the knee. Maybe this is good. Maybe you're holding on. Maybe you feel like you can bring those arms up. Or open the arms. Relax shoulders. Abs are in. You're breathing. You're possibly got that focal point where that you're staring. So you're setting your gaze. Breathing. Okay, maybe a little challenge. Bringing your hand down to your knee. More of a palm tree. So just by kind of arching over, you're shifting your weight to one side, challenging yourself a little bit. Okay, release, not too much, but a little bit. Back to your mountain pose. Okay, one more, we're just gonna do tree pose to the other side. So shift your weight onto the other foot. And hands at heart center. Start with the heel to the ankle and the toes down. You might stay there. You might bring your foot up to your calf muscle. That might be fine. You might be holding on. Or you might have your foot up to your thigh, above or below the knee, but not on the knee. And maybe arms come up or open. And shoulders are down, abs are in, breathing. So here, just stay for a moment, setting your gaze. And then if you feel, you could bring that hand down, reaching over slightly for that palm tree, just a little bit of a change. Okay, and then come back, mountain pose. Good job. So we're going to do that balance check now. Just see, maybe you won't see a difference, but we'll keep working on it. Anytime you can do these balancing positions and see if it helps you out a little bit. So, but let's try. Ground and root that one foot, and we'll go to that crane pose again. You still might want to hold on, that's okay. Perfect it, breathe, and take it to your warrior three. Breathe, and carefully back up. If you need to touch down with your toes, or maybe just cross up just at the thigh and sit back towards your heel. Breathe, release. Good job. Center a little bit and then start to ground that other foot. Good. Crane pose. Warrior three pose. Carefully up and to your figure four cross. Sit back towards your hips to the heel. Breathe. Okay, release. And center back to your mountain pose. Just perfect your posture for a moment. So kind of take a moment, think about how that felt. Did it feel a little easier the second time? Hopefully so, at least a little bit. So let's just breathe here. Take a few deep breaths. Okay, good job. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.